The only way we were ever going to get close enough to the brain to destroy it was by working together. But few would trust a mind flayer. So I did what I had to convince you. I studied you. Your motivations, your actions, your desires. I deduced the best way to align your goals with my own.
Hey guys, it's DVD Gamer Girl here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video that, I've had the idea for quite a long time, but I've had some hesitations about making it. So I guess I was putting it off, but it's basically, I feel like I have this unpopular opinion about Baldur's Gate. And it's that the Emperor, I feel like, is not that bad of a character. Like, I feel like everybody makes him out to be a villain and, he is extremely manipulative and evil and everything like that. But, realistically, I've never really had that opinion of the Emperor. And whenever I've said that, people just say, oh, you fell for his mind games, like you fell for the manipulation, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, I feel like I pretty much thoroughly see every aspect about the Emperor and like why he does what he does. And I still don't feel like he's that evil. Like, yes, he is morally corrupt in certain senses, but I just want to talk about, very casually, like why I feel like he's not that evil. So first of all, I feel like his main goal is always self-preservation, which is generally the case for most of the companions. I feel like everything that he does, every decision he makes, every dialogue that he has is all in the name of self-preservation. Like from the very beginning, everything that he's ever done is for his own survival. So even, protecting you, gathering your party and helping everybody or giving you guidance, etc., it's all because he needs help to defeat the Nether Brain. Like he knows that he can't do that by himself, so he wants your help, and that's why he's basically using you to get what he wants. But is that so wrong? I mean, I feel like if he does, want to live, and the only way that he feels like he can defeat the Nether Brain is by gathering allies basically to try to do it, it makes sense to me that that's why he would be befriending you and at least showing you that he's helping you or pretending to be helping you because he wants to survive. Like at the end of the day, he wants your help to defeat the Nether Brain. So it's just a survival first mentality. And the reason that he's pushing you to consume the tadpoles and pick up on the illicit abilities is just because objectively he feels like it will be useful, like it will make you more powerful and it will make you more likely to be able to get to the point where you go to defeat the Nether Brain. Another important aspect that I feel like people kind of gloss over about the Emperor is that obviously because he's a mind flayer, they don't function really the same way like normal humans do. I feel like the way that their minds and their emotions function is different. Like I feel like they require more control, more structure. I mean, particularly with the hive mind, like I know the Emperor broke free of that, but at the end of the day, he's still an illithid. And emotionally, they're just not the same. Like I feel like that's an important factor too in why he's maybe not able to connect with you on a very emotional or personal level, is because at the end of the day it's more of a logic brain. Like rather than an emotional brain, it's more of a logical brain. And he just sees you as, the means to an end, basically. That doesn't mean that he's like inherently evil. It's more just a game. Like it's all a game to him to get what he wants. Another thing is that the Emperor is pretty much a survivor of so many traumatic incidents that have happened to him as well. I mean, obviously when he was Baldurin, he was abducted and then he was infected, and then he went through the whole ordeal with Unsur trying to find a cure for him, and unable to find a cure for him, Unsur tried to kill him, a mercy killing essentially, as he would put it. And then the Emperor killed Unsur instead, again in the name of self-preservation. And I feel like this is one of the biggest points where people say that he's evil, is because he killed Unsur, who's like his best friend slash maybe lover. I mean, that's like a little bit unclear, but regardless, they had a very, very close relationship when he was Baldurin. And he had to kill Unsur. I mean, obviously he could be lying, but if you take him at his word for it, I do feel like it was justified, essentially, because it was either kill or be killed is how it felt at that point. Like, I don't necessarily think that, Unsur would ever agree with him that, oh, being a mind flayer is optimal and you're really powerful now and this is great. But I feel like Unsur didn't need to kill him. I mean, so obviously if the Emperor wanted to survive, he had to do what he had to do. I mean, that's kind of the opinion I have about the Unsur situation. Another interesting aspect is that he said that initially when he escaped the influence of the Netherbrain and he was working with Duke Stelmane, etc., he did say that he kept himself fed on the minds of criminals, which I thought was a really interesting concept. So he wasn't just going around like feeding on innocent individuals. Like, he made it a point to feed on the minds of criminals, which is giving Twilight, like Edward from Twilight.
I've killed people before. It does not matter.
Like, trying to justify, hurting these people. Like, they say, okay, well, I only did it to criminals who were bad people anyways. So I thought that was interesting because I feel like if he was truly, truly evil, then he wouldn't bother to only focus on criminals, and he would, kind of indiscriminately just kill anybody and feed on the minds of anybody. I also feel like, his need to consume Orpheus, or him pushing you or Karlach to consume Orpheus if you decide to become the Mind Flayer, is also self-preservation, because he knew that Orpheus would not want to work with him already being a Mind Flayer. Like, he knew that Orpheus had no reason to keep the Emperor alive, and he would basically want to kill him. Yes, granted, he never gives it the chance. If you do end up freeing Orpheus, Emperor immediately turns against you and goes and sides with the Elder Brain, but he doesn't think that that would work. Like, he doesn't think that's an alliance that would work. So he's basically protecting himself when he wants you to kill Orpheus, essentially. So I feel like that falls into the self-preservation piece as well. Another thing is that when you bring the Emperor to the end of the game, which I've done pretty much every single time, he does not betray you. And I feel like that would be the perfect time for him to betray you. Like, you're right there with all the stones, you're about to grasp control of the Netherbrain. You even have the option to kill off the Emperor and take the control for yourself. So I assume that on his end, he kind of has the same option to try to kill you, betray you, and seize control of the Netherbrain for himself. So I feel like the fact that he doesn't do that, and he just goes along with the plan that you've always had to defeat the Netherbrain and destroy it, essentially. I feel like the fact that he goes with that plan just proves that he's not so inherently evil, because if he was, then he would take advantage of that opportunity to basically get rid of you. Or kill you, or anything like that. And I feel like the fact that he doesn't do that only proves that it's only about his own survival, and he sees, okay, I got what I wanted, I'm alive, Netherbrain is gone, and now I'm free to go do what I want, and he just leaves. And he even sends you a letter and stuff, like, later in the epilogue, just saying, like, he appreciated your partnership, and maybe you'll work together in the future again someday. So I feel like that proves that he doesn't have evil intentions. Like, that is the turning point, essentially, of when he could become truly, truly evil. So that being said, I will give a couple of counter arguments as to why there are probably some pieces and parts of the Emperor that maybe are evil. And these are the few points that I can't get over to say that everything that he does necessarily has a justification behind it, because these things are, pretty unforgivable. One, the Duke Stelmane essentially being his thrall. Like, he shows you in one of the cutscenes, if you oppose him, that he was basically mind controlling Duke Stelmane the entire time that he was working with her, with Knights of the Shield. She was completely under his control, and she actually ends up dying of a stroke later in life because of the way that he had exerted his influence on her, like the tadpole influence and controlling her. So I feel like she basically died early because of that whole situation. And though he speaks of her fondly, I feel like that is kind of an act, and he was controlling her. And I feel like at that point, maybe it wasn't so much self-preservation, it was more of a desire for power. Because, you know, he could have just been hiding as an Illithid. He didn't need to go into a position of power necessarily. But with him being Baldurin, I feel like he did have that kind of ambition, and maybe this was his way of pursuing that ambition. I feel like he might have also been scared that he would get discovered as an Illithid, and maybe having control of her was making that less likely to happen, like less likely for him to be discovered. Eventually, Gortash does discover him and return him to the Netherbrain, but I do wonder if that was like an aspect that kind of made it easier for him to hide, is because she was under his influence, essentially. Another way that I guess I would say he ventures more into evil territory than just, you know, manipulation and self-preservation is if he does in fact infect you in the beginning of the game. Like if he's like the actual Illithid that infects you in that introductory cutscene, which I have a lot of thoughts on that cutscene. I know one of you guys on the comments asked me to kind of talk about that cutscene, so I'll do that in a separate video. But I know there's some debate on if that was the Emperor or not that infected you, and I feel like if it is the Emperor that infected you, then it definitely goes to show how far he would truly go to manipulate you. Because if he infected you, that means that, you know, he knew that he could tell you, oh, I'm protecting you, you know, from the influence of the tadpole with this prism, and you're under my protection, and that in turn would make you more willing to work with him and go and fight with him. Whereas otherwise you wouldn't really have like a need for him at all, nor would you have any motivations, you know, to help him out in defeating the Netherbrain. So I feel like that is a huge manipulation tactic. It's almost like the sense of, you know, I'm helping you with this condition that you have without telling you that he's the one who put that condition on you. But if that Illithid is not the Emperor who infects you at the beginning of the game, then, you know, it's even more evidence that the Emperor is not truly evil, and it's just more of a self-preservation tactic. Anyways, those are just generally my thoughts about the Emperor. Let me know what you guys think, but yeah, over time, like I've made a lot of TikToks and stuff about the Emperor, and I feel like people always push back, you know, when I'm saying that I always side with the Emperor, and, you know, I did get the mind blown achievement in my first playthrough, not gonna lie. And I know that he gets very, very aggressive if you do push back on him at all. Like he'll basically call you his puppet, and he's very quick to anger, but I think it's just fear. Like I feel like he's acting out of fear rather than, you know, pure evil intentions. I mean, you kind of are his puppet in the sense that he wants to, you know, he needs your help, and he's trying to pull strings to get you to do what he wants. But I mean, every character is doing that a little bit at the end of the day. Like everybody here is scared. Everybody here wants to survive. Like Astarion in the very beginning of the game, he basically does use intimacy as kind of a tool to try to get you closer to him, to try to help him out. Later, he has a lot of character growth and he changes, but if you do make certain decisions and he doesn't change, then he will explicitly tell you, like, I used you and I manipulated you like that. So, you know, every character has their faults, so I don't see why the Emperor is so die-hard terrible compared to, you know, some of the tactics that the other companions use. I mean, apart from like the few pieces I just talked about at the end where I feel like he could be considered truly evil for that, that's about all I have to say. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. I love having like little videos like this, just talking about things like this. Like, I find it really interesting. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, whether you agree or disagree with me. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.